All right, welcome everyone. Happy New Year. We're back at it this year. So first item agenda is welcome introduction. So I will turn it over to Justin to please read the roll.
Okay. I believe this is his last day. Massachusetts Secretary of Transportation, MassDOT CEO Jamie Tesler.
Steve Wolf, representing Secretary and CEO of MassDOT, Jamie Tesler.
Okay. MassDOT Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver.
Brian Fallon, representing Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver.
Hey, Brian. NIMCOG Chair Andrew Delorier.
Here.
One of the things that
Hey, Andrew. NIMCOG MPO Representative Pat Wojcik.
Here.
Pat. LRTA Board Chair Tom Bommel.
Here.
Okay. LRTA MPO Representative Karen Pulio.
Here.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. And Lowell City Council Representative to NIMCOG and the MPO Dan Rourke. Who I don't see. Okay, that's the roll. Thanks.
Yeah, and welcome everybody. Thank you, Justin. We'll move on to the second agenda item, which is adoption of the meeting minutes, I believe, of November 30th, correct? Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
Move to approve. Pat Wojcik.
Is there a second?
Second, Karen Pulio.
All right, any changes or comments on the minutes? All right, seeing none. Justin, could you read the roll, please?
Steve Wolfle.
Yes.
Brian Fallon.
it was
Yeah.
hilarious because there was so much debate.
Andrew Delorier.
Adam,
Aye.
Pat Wojcik.
Aye.
Tom Bommel.
Aye.
Karen Pulio.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. We'll move on to agenda item 3, which is the status of the federal fiscal year 23-27 TIP projects. I don't know which one of you is doing this, Tim or Brian, whoever's doing it. You're up.
I get it covered.
Thanks, Tim.
Hi. Yeah, we don't have a lot for you today. Project 612096 Westford Interstate Maintenance Related Project that has changed the year. It's on the 2025 list now. And 608816 Lowell Dracut Methuen resurfacing related work on Route 110. 25% comments went back to the design engineer at the end of November. And that was all the updates that we have at the moment.
All right, any questions for Tim on this or any other projects? All right, seeing none, thank you, Tim. We'll move on to item 4, which is opportunity for public comment. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the MPO today? All right, seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 5, which is Envision 2050 updates. And Justin, I believe you're and Jessica doing this.
Jessica.
Take it away.
Let me just pull up my slides. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Belanger. I'm a transportation planner with the Northern Middlesex Council of Governments. And today I'll be giving a presentation on the Envision 2050 update. So that's our new long-range regional transportation plan. Today, I'll start off by providing an overview of the RTP. I'll discuss our municipal meetings. I'll review our phased approach and our timeline along with our next steps for the project. And then we'll finish up with questions. Envision 2050 is our comprehensive vision for the future of transportation in the NEMCOG region. By projecting and planning for anticipated growth over a period of 30 years, this plan will establish a foundation for cost-effective, energy-efficient, and equitable transportation options for all users. The topic areas that we plan to cover in our plan will be economic vitality, safety, infrastructure, environmental and climate resiliency, accessibility and mobility options, connectivity, and equity, with an emphasis on communities that have been historically marginalized. So at this stage, we're continuing to meet with our municipalities. As part of the outreach, we have met with all 9 of our communities, along with some local partners, which included folks like UMass Lowell, Mass Hire, the LRTA, and also Middlesex 3. We have an upcoming meeting with them tomorrow. With the plan, we hope to really emphasize the need for infrastructure improvements in our region. These infrastructure improvements are really critical to addressing the challenges facing our region and in order to advance the multimodal transportation options. So that's just one area that we plan to really highlight with our work in this plan. The major themes that we've found from our municipal meetings are pedestrian crossing and biking barriers, transit accessibility, and the frequency of transit service, regional connectivity, a desire for more multimodal transportation options. Folks asked us to really highlight the nexus between transportation and employment centers. There's a strong desire for more transit-oriented development, which can be implemented through better zoning and along with safety. On this slide here, you'll see the number of federal eligible miles within each of our municipalities. So using the MassDOT road inventory, I looked at the investments within our region, and throughout our region, you'll see, for example, Billerica has 66.10 miles of federal eligible roads. And that means that that's the number of miles within the town of Billerica that potentially could be used to fund TIP projects. So basically, when we were meeting with the municipalities, we reviewed the universe of projects that they had and sort of tried to work with them on determining what the best appropriate priorities are. But this map really demonstrates that there is a lot of potential for projects in all of our regions. And at this stage, we have a total of 340 responses on our survey. So we have a survey that's been circulating. Thank you to all our municipal partners that have helped with really spreading the word on our survey. But we're getting a lot of traction, a lot of responses. So we're really happy about that. And that coincides with our municipal meetings to really inform the work that we're doing. And on this slide, I'd just like to talk a little bit about some of our upcoming activities. So this month we'll be hosting 2 focus groups. On January 17th, we have a bike and pedestrian focus group. And then on January 19th, we'll have a transit user focus group. Both of those meetings are open to the public and they'll be held virtually. And during those meetings, we'll be having short breakout sessions where we have actually a facilitator and a note taker where we'll be collecting feedback directly from stakeholders. So there's a link on our website to register, and I can also drop that in the chat after. I'd also like to mention we have our second Envision 2050 event taking place in March. So it's just a short time away, but we're working on confirming the details for that event. So be on the lookout for an invitation very soon. And the next slide demonstrates our timeline. So you'll see we're currently in phase 1, where we'll be doing the focus group. So that's taking place this month. And then during phase 2, we'll really be working on the development of drafting the plan, and we'll be hosting that regional event where we'll be sharing some of our findings from our survey. In June, we plan on presenting our draft plan to the NMMPO, and then in July, we'll be looking at the final endorsement. So lastly, I'd like to finish up with ways that you can help us or get involved with the plan. Our social media is listed here on the website, as well as more information on our Envision 2050 website, which I'll drop the link in our chat. And then the slide also has my contact information as well as Justin and our team. Does anyone have any questions?
I muted myself. So anyone have any question for Jessica as we get further into the plan this year? All right, you did a good job, Jessica. No questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to agenda item 6, which is release for public comment, some work on the fiscal year 23 to 27 TIP. It's Amendment 2, and I know we have an adjustment as well. So I'll turn it over to you, Justin.
Yeah, I added an additional agenda item after learning about the adjustment. So first we'll start with the amendments here. So on your screen, it's a summary of proposed federal fiscal year 2023 to 2027 TIP Amendment number 2. So this involves programming a construction cost estimate increase for a project that involves improving several intersections along Route 38 near the Tewksbury Lowell line. And so it's I think it's 4 or 5 different intersections, basically around 495 Route 38 interchange. And most of these improvements, they're including upgrades to electrical systems for the traffic signals. A lot of the traffic signals are dated and in need of updating. So what we're doing here today, the project is actually proposed to be advertised on February 4th of this year. So in order for it to stay on track to hit that February 4th advertisement date, we need to address this amendment, because this amendment involves an increase of over $700,000 to the cost estimate from 3.3 to just over $4 million. So we're on kind of a short timeline here with this because of the February 4th ad date, which we're trying to hit. So it's kind of the point of this meeting today. So because this project is scheduled for so soon, and any amendment requires a public comment period, what we're actually doing today is proposing a shortened comment period. Typically, a comment period lasts 21 days. We believe we can do a period of 15 days and address any comments that we receive on this amendment, and vote to endorse if we release it today at the January 25th MPO meeting. And so basically what we're here today is to consider releasing this amendment for a shortened public comment period of 15 days. And so if this amendment's released, we'll set a virtual public meeting date, likely January 17th. And any comments, can be emailed to me or mailed to our office, or you can call me, and we'll put that information up on our website and social media as part of release of this amendment. So if there are any questions, I can take them. Otherwise, we vote to release this amendment.
All right. Can I get a motion and a second to approve amendment 2 going up for public comment with the shortened time for public comment as Justin laid out, and then I'll open up to questions.
So moved.
Who was
Second,
that that said that?
Who was
made-
second?
Pat Wojcik, second.
All right.
Who made the motion?
I did just.
Oh, Andrew? Okay.
All right. Any questions? All right. Seeing none. Justin, you want to read the roll?
Sure. Steve Wolf,
Yes.
Brian Fallon,
Yes.
Andrew Delaria,
Aye.
Al Wojcik.
Aye.
Tom Bowles,
Aye.
and Karen Puleo.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Let's move on to the next one, which is the adjustment I was alluding to.
Yes, it's a TIP adjustment number 1. Let me just pull it up here.
Justin, before you go over this, we do take a vote, right? I know you guys vote on adjustments, correct?
Typically, it does not require a vote,
Okay.
which I was going to mention. So our next item, it was kind of mentioned in passing at our last meeting, and as something that upcoming needed to be addressed. So this is TIP adjustment number 1 to the federal fiscal year 2023 to 2027 Transportation Improvement Program. And this involves a minor change. It's a change in funding source program for the commuter and ADA access improvement project at Gallagher Terminal. And if you recall, the MPO programmed $3.9 million or so in flex funding from federal highway to FTA for this project. And so the initial funding source that we used for this flex was the carbon reduction program. And so we decided to change that to a new funding source, which is the Surface Transportation Block Group program. The proposal does not change any of the total amounts. It basically just changes the color of the money. We're making this adjustment to the tip to reflect the new funding program. And like we just discussed with Steve, our administrative adjustments don't require a formal action by the MPO. It does not require a public comment period. But I just want to let people know that the MPO does have the option to release this for public comment if it feels it's in the best interest of the MPO or the transportation planning process in general. Otherwise, this is an informational item. This is something that we will make the change, and we can make that this afternoon. And with that, I can take any questions, or if anyone wants to address whether this should be more than an adjustment.
All right, anyone have any questions? Anyone have any thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I don't think we think it needs to go out just on the question. Some MPOs require the adjustment to be voted on, others don't. So I just never can keep it straight. So does anyone have any strong thoughts either way on this, or have any questions about the adjustment?
I mean, I think given that the total cost hasn't changed, I'm okay with it not going out to comment. I guess it might depend too on what color that money is, just.
It's all federal, so.
And it's still really a green shade, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Pat, it's definitely green. All right, any other people have any comments? Any members? All right, Justin, I think we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And then we'll move on to agenda item 7, which is federal fiscal year 2022 annual obligation projects report, which I believe is you, Justin. So, right?
Yep.
Right, get away.
Yep. All right, so in order to show like transparency in how we spend our federal transportation dollars, the MPO is required to publish annually a listing of all federal obligations over the previous federal fiscal year, which was 2022, and ended at the end of September of 2022. So this report basically serves or helps to ensure the public has an accurate understanding of how federal transportation dollars are spent in the region. So with that, staff have been working over the past month with MassDOT, with the LRTA, with Federal Highway and FTA partners to compile the information for the fiscal year 2022 and compile it all and develop this obligation report. And for those who don't know what an obligation is, we listed in the report as, it's defined as the federal government's legal commitment to pay the federal share of a project's cost. So looking at the spending in 2022, over $17.3 million were obligated for approximately 11 projects in our region, 16.9 in highway obligations for 3 projects. And I'll go to this summary spreadsheet here. And it's basically 16.9 for three highway projects, one being the rehab of Route 3A Boston Road in Billerica, in Drakehead improvements on Nashua Road, and in Westford, the rehabilitation of the Beaver Brook Road Bridge over Beaver Brook. And that's the majority of the funding in 2022. And you see on the transit side, in 22 itself, $250,000 in funding was obligated mainly for projects, the purchase of 3 replacement vans, and various maintenance type projects. And you'll see a little more here in this spreadsheet, but and I listed them in the report mainly because the state portion was in 2022. But the CARES Act funding for operational assistance was previously obligated. The federal portion was previously obligated. The replacement of 2 hybrid vehicles was previously obligated, and as well as a replacement of a service truck plow for the LRTA. And I included in there, but the federal funds were obligated prior to 2022. So the requirement is for this is within 90 days of the end of the federal fiscal year, which coincides with the end of 2022 calendar year, that the MPO staff publish the report on the website, make it available to the public. And we have done that. It is on our website as of now. There's no real action that needs to be taken today. This is all purely informational. And if anyone has any questions on this, I can take them now.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Justin on this? All right, I think we're good, Justin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're on to agenda item 8, which is other business. Justin, do you have other business, or anyone have any other business?
I do not.
I don't have
Do
anything.
we skip one? I'm sorry, do we skip the obligation?
Oh, we just talked about that, Andrew.
I'm sorry, I blended the two together, my bad.
It's okay.
The only thing I have is that Innovation Conference will be again at the DCU Center, May 2nd and 3rd, so people will start seeing that stuff come out shortly. All right, with that, we're on to agenda item 9. Agenda item 9 is next meeting date, which is January 25th. Obviously, please try to make it, because we will have the amendment number 2 to consider for endorsement. And I think with that, if no one has anything else, can I get a motion, a second to adjourn, please?
So moved, Pat Wojcik.
Second, Tom Bommel.
All right, all in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody. As I said, try to be there on January 25th so we can vote on the endorsement. Be safe. Happy New Year. We'll see you all soon, very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.